ransomware, phishing, and more. It works on PCs, Macs, tablets, smartphones, even Chromebooks. So all your devices are covered. Right now, save 75% on WebRoot Essentials at webroot.com/Kim. This 75% offer is exclusive for my listeners only. Go to webroot.com/Kim. Live a better digital life with WebRoot.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome on into Talkback here on this Friday morning. Well, we're almost at the end of the first work week. I'm Al Quartermont along with Stephen Maxwell. Hope you guys had a great day yesterday. Looking forward to a good weekend. And we've got a guest right off the top of our show, and he is our very own Lieutenant Governor for the state of Louisiana. That's Billy Lee Nungesser. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
We're doing well. Thanks so much for being with us today. First of all, hope you had a great Christmas. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
I guess it's not too late to still say
I think
Happy
it's
New
too
Year.
late.
Is
I think
it?
it's too late.
Is it? Oh.
Yes.
Oh,
It's never too late.
Yeah, there you go.
It's Mardi Gras, baby.
Right. So as we do away with the old and get ready for the new, let's just talk about 2025. What kind of year was it in terms of Louisiana tourism?
Yeah, we don't have the official numbers yet, but we think it's going to be roughly the same as 2024. About 44 million people visit Louisiana. We're not back to those record numbers we saw before COVID yet. You know, in 2019, we saw 53 million visitors, the 5th record-breaking year. And that year, visitors left behind $1.9 billion in taxes. That's over $1,100 per Louisiana family you and I have to pay. Mm-hmm. So we're working hard to get back to those record numbers. We've had some challenges with visas internationally. Canada, which is a big market for us, when they were being called the 51st state, they refused to travel to America. So we're dealing with that. But we think 26 is going to be a good year. You know, we kicked it off with the Rose Parade. I hope everybody saw that beautiful float. That is probably one of the best returns on investment we do. This year's theme was teamwork. And in Louisiana, it takes a great team to put together a pot of gumbo. From the crops we grow to the seafood to the chefs. And we had everybody out there working on that float. Over 100 Louisianans came out to help us decorate it. And it's a great time of the year to put Louisiana in front of the world. When people are talking about their New Year's resolution and where we're going to go on vacation next year, it's great to have Louisiana spotlighted in that parade.
Oh, I know. It's something that people look forward to every year. And you had John Foster performing as well.
Yeah, he did a great job. And I tell you, they're still talking about him on social media. You know, that's part of what we do. Before we sign the contract, we make sure we can bring a Louisiana entertainer every year to highlight that local talent. And then, of course, what the viewers don't see is we have a satellite truck in the den. And everybody around the country would love to see how they build those floats. Well, we give them a behind-the-scenes look. Just give us 10 minutes on your morning show to talk about Louisiana. So our partners from all over the state come with us, and we're able to do interviews on morning shows across the country each day while we're decorating that float. So we get about $10 to $15 million return on less than $1 million investment. So it's a great return on our investment.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I think everyone would take that in just about everything, especially our stock portfolio. You also kind of with the float, it was also a little bit of a shout out to the shrimpers as well with the shrimp boat on there.
Yeah, you know, Mike Strain, our commissioner ag rode to highlight the crops we grow, the rice, the crawfish, and then we wanted to highlight all the fishermen, the oysters, the crabbers, the shrimpers. We had crabs moving their claws on the side of the float. We had a shrimp boat and shrimp in the nets hanging off the back. And then for the first time, we had to get special permission to bring Louisiana oyster shells out there and put real oyster shells on the float. We had rice from Crowley. So we made it a little personal with all Louisiana products. If you looked at the products on the float, the Tabasco bottle was built in flowers. We highlighted all those spices. And then we brought some chefs out there as well to cook Louisiana seafood. And we found a little old lady in Pasadena. She's from New Orleans, owns a beignet truck. So we have hot beignets every morning from 5 to 9, feeding all the people, decorating all the floats. I tell Louisianans, everybody should sign up to come one year. It's the week after Christmas. Bring the family to decorate that float. It should be on everybody's bucket list.
Yeah, no question about it. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser is our guest here on Talkback. So as we kind of have wrapped up 2025, looking ahead to 2026, I guess most immediately is the fact that we're already into Mardi Gras season, and we know what a huge tourism asset that is for our state.
It really is. You know, when I got elected and realized a lot of people thought Mardi Gras was only in New Orleans, we quickly started promoting family-friendly, safe, affordable Mardi Gras in every corner of the state. And over the last several years, with our partners in all the convention and visitor bureaus in each part of the state, we've had great success. We had people coming from Japan to go to Mardi Gras in Shreveport, from Australia in Homer, Morgan City. So we're seeing people come from all over the world planning their trip to family-friendly, safe, affordable Mardi Gras outside the big cities. And it's helping drive tourists in all the smaller markets around Louisiana. And I tell you, I get story after story. People, we're the friendliest people in the world. When you come to Louisiana, you meet a friend for life. You leave with a friend, and you keep coming back for more. And the way we treat people is the reason we have such great tourism numbers.
I will say Alexandria's is very underrated. It's a lot of fun. So I don't know if you've ever been for one here.
I have, and I keep saying I'm going to make every fair and festival before I die, and every Mardi Gras parade. I think I was Grand Marshal of 7 last year. It gets. I'm going to make it before I die, but they keep adding new parades and new festivals. I don't know if I'm going to make it.
I hear you. Are there any areas? I know we always talk about New Orleans with tourism in Louisiana. Are there any burgeoning areas or ones y'all been focusing on the past couple of years?
Well, since I got elected, I made a commitment to promote all of Louisiana. And my focus is, one, to get people to realize there's other destinations besides New Orleans. And then those people that come to New Orleans, we want to make sure they know they can travel the rest of the state. We actually finally, after 5 years, got the convention center in New Orleans to allow us to put a booth. And so we have brochures and video of every place to visit Louisiana. So when you're in New Orleans for a convention, hey, you might not be able to make it this trip, but come back and try this or go here. Last year, we promoted the Year of Food. This year, we're promoting the great outdoors of Louisiana. We've got a new birding campaign and a birding trail, which touches every part of Louisiana. And people are traveling all over the world now to go bird watching. So we're also highlighting all the great canoeing, fishing. I tell people you can fish anywhere, but you catch fish in Louisiana. So we're really promoting all the Chaffalay Basin, all the great outdoors things, our parks. It's going to be a great year to promote outdoors. After COVID, people bought outdoor campers, canoes, bikes in record numbers. They're using them. And we want to show them all those great things and places to use them in Louisiana.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Especially, again, here in central Louisiana, we have so many great venues for people to do that.
It really is. And I tell you, we try to show the distance of the drive because we're not a huge state. So you can make it around this state and spend a weekend in Alexandria, a weekend in Shreveport, Bossier. There's so many places to go, get off the beaten path if you're flying into New Orleans. So that's been a real focus too, to get people out of the city and take a 1-2 a day trip around Louisiana.
In your role as lieutenant governor, have you personally just become so much more acquainted with the state and the little towns and places that maybe otherwise you never would have been to?
I tell you, either I didn't pay attention in school or they didn't teach me about, because I have learned so much about so many places in Louisiana, the Gothic Jail in DeRidder, all the great outdoor canoeing, the Red River, all the things to do all over Louisiana that I didn't know. My parents took me to a state park, or we went a few places, but this place has some amazing places to see and do. That's why we went out and bought the name LouisianaMuseums.com. And we're in the process. We have 211 museums. So we're going to film every museum. And then we're going to do social media. Everyone knows about the World War II Museum. Well, you're going to know about all the military museums in the whole state. If you go to buy tickets to that museum, our other museums are going to pop up. We're going to cross-market because we got some really neat museums that people, they have no money to market them. So we're going to make sure everybody knows about those unique museums in every corner of the state.
I love that. That's good stuff. We have a call coming in for the Lieutenant Governor. If we can take that, let's go to the phones. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call, Lieutenant Governor Nunn-Desser. I appreciate your efforts and all you do to market our state. I've lived in Louisiana my whole life. I'm now retired. And one thing I'd like to ask about, Republicans have been in control for a while now. We got to own this thing. And with what we see in Minnesota, I'm wondering if there's not some corruption dollars that we could claw back here in Louisiana. Our state pays for a lot of our citizens. We have one of the largest citizen to population rate of employed in government, and we know we have a lot of people that are on programs. Is there anything going on in Baton Rouge to try to audit all of these dollars that are going out so we can get more money to build our state and make it the best place on earth that we know it is? And I'll hang up with you. Thank you, sir, for taking my question.
Yeah, well, thank you for your call. I have kept my office over the last 20 years. The Lieutenant Governor's office has been cut probably more than any. But since I took office, I've maintained the same employees, the same budget year after year. And we've grown. We had our largest attendance ever at the state park, 2 million people last year. And the park's in the best shape ever. And we're actually, when I took office, they were going to close 7 state parks. Now we have 7 making a profit because of the private-public partnership. We're looking for people that want to do things in the park and share the profits. And I see a day when I won't need any tax dollars to run our parks. They'll all make money for us. I know there were some initiatives in Baton Rouge initially to cut costs and wasteful spending. I haven't heard of any substantial things they've done yet. I think every department needs to take it on their own to run I run my department like a business. I was in private business, and it drives me crazy, the waste in government and things that don't produce anything for the citizens. And there is a lot of waste that we can cut, and hopefully bringing it to the light of the public. Usually you got to embarrass people into doing the right thing, and hopefully we can do more and more of that as we go forward into the new year.
Yeah, well said. All right, we've got another call coming in. Let's take that as well. Good morning. You're on Talkback. Yep. Hang on 1 second. Oh, shoot. My bad. Hang on a second. I think I accidentally cut off the Lieutenant Governor. Well, hopefully he'll call back. Darn it. Let's see. There we go.
Well, it happens.
Hang on. All right. Lieutenant Governor?
We lost you.
Sorry
sir.
about that. Thank you for calling back. Let's see. I'm going to try to conference you in, and hopefully I don't cut it off again. All right. Let's see if this works. Well, it's on. Did it again. All right. One last time. All right. Sorry about that. Having issues with our phone bank here. Have we got you again, Lieutenant Governor?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right, let me try this one more time. All right, well, sorry, we're not going to be able to take your call for Lieutenant Governor. Whatever reason, our phone system's not working right. But, okay.
It didn't work.
Yeah. The conferencing feature is not working for some reason. Could be operator error, but in any case, sorry about that. But I appreciate what you were saying about running your department like a business. And I'm sure the taxpayers out there appreciate that as well, because I think that's something that people can get pretty discouraged by when you hear about just these levels of fraud and abuse. I mean, and where that money could be used, even in your office, that has to be sometimes even a little discouraging for you.
Yeah, I actually go out to each park. I'll look at all the expenses. What are we doing? What can we do better? Can we buy in bulk? And really, getting our managers at all of our departments thinking that way. And I tell you, I got a great team that every week somebody's looking at a contract or something we're doing and looking at ways to save money. We're also involving a lot of businesses, through the private-public partnership and through now that Keep Louisiana Beautiful is under my office. We're getting businesses to sponsor highways and pay for the cleanup, buying equipment, street sweepers, and wrapping it with their company logo to help with the cost of cleaning up Louisiana. And thinking outside the box and getting those private people, giving them some advertising, but helping them incur the cost of cleaning up Louisiana is something we're really focusing on. So you can't always go to the taxpayers. You can look at opportunities to give people some marketing, some advertisement, if they're putting up money to help you do some of the things you need to do to improve Louisiana.
Interesting advertisements on street sweepers. That's pretty innovative. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's something that we need to do. When we took over Keep Louisiana Beautiful 3 years ago, moved it under my office, we had 50 groups clean up Louisiana doing Love to Boot Week. Last year, 1,471 groups in every parish. It's become a movement, and we're going to keep our foot on the gas till we don't have any trash in Louisiana. We're training, we're teaching it in the schools and the driving tests. There's questions. There's new litter enforcement. We've made great progress, but we need everybody involved to clean up Louisiana because we spent $100 million cleaning up last year. Mm. That money could be better spent if we could just stop people from littering.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty sobering when you think about that monetary statistic. And I know we have at least one listener in this audience that's music to his ears because he'll call from time to time complaining about people just leaving trash. I mean, I know it's a personal pride thing, but it's nice that you have so many citizens that are willing to volunteer and help with efforts like that.
And if you get a ticket for littering or you pick up litter for a day, you're 80% less likely to litter. So we started a program where you can go to the library and check out the grabbers, invest, and they'll give you garbage bags. Take your family out safely and go pick up litter for a day. It'll change your whole perspective about litter and make you more aware of what's out there and how much work we still have to do to clean up our state.
One last thing I wanted to ask you about before we let you go, and we appreciate your time. I know the other day that Gail Benson, along with the governor, had met with the NBA. They're talking about bringing the All-Star game here in the future years, but also maybe doing more to improve the Smoothie King Center. Does that play a factor at all in tourism for you as well?
Well, it does, but just like that caller saying, how do we best spend our tax dollars to benefit Louisianans? I'm always concerned when they talk about bringing another Super Bowl or another major event, but we got to spend $200 million to renovate the dome or renovate those events ought to come there because New Orleans is a great city to host. And I just always worry that they use that to leverage us spending hundreds of millions of dollars to renovate these facilities. Mm-hmm. And I hope, if it needs to be done, we need to do it. But we don't dangle something out in front of us to get us to spend a bunch of taxpayer dollars on an arena that's not that old. So I don't know the particulars, so I can't talk good or bad about it. But I just think we need to be concerned about how much money we're dumping into these arenas, and does the return on investment for hosting one event or two events justify that? And just like we're talking about spending tax dollars wisely, that's something we need to do a deep dive in and not just jump and spend that money because they're offering to get us in line to get one more Super Bowl or one more event.
Do you, I don't want to get you in trouble. Do you think the market's there for the Pelicans, honestly?
It was hard to keep them here last time they looked to move. And with their record, people like winners. And unfortunately, they have not been winning. And I know they've struggled to get people to the games. So that's another thing that needs to be looked at. Look, in Baltimore, the city spent $500 million on a stadium. The next year, the football team left. Yeah. So, that's a black eye, and you got to be aware of that. Are they going to be here long term? And what is the benefit versus what we're spending? And we got to look at that honestly, and not just react because we're going to get one special event.
Sure. I got one question before you go. Your favorite king cake?
Man, I like the traditional. I send a king cake to every lieutenant governor every year and invite them and their families to come down for Mardi Gras. I'm already getting calls for that king cake. They look forward to it every year, and I send them the traditional one. I'll be going to Houma, to Thibodaux for the King Cake Fest in a couple weeks. They have, I think, 61 kinds of king cakes.
Wow.
They stuffing them with boudin and crawfish, and I mean, you give a Louisiana something to do, and they're going to invent 50 ways to do it. So I'm excited to go down there and try them all.
I had a crawfish boil last year where they put tortellini in it. It was fantastic.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I got to try that one. Yeah, it sounds good.
It was pretty good. Thank you, sir.
All right, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser, we always enjoy catching up with you. Keep us posted on things, and we'll say hi to Coach Burns for you.
All right, my friend. Y'all have a happy Mardi Gras.
All right, thank you so much. Again, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser here on Talkback. We'll take a break. More coming up.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Nearly 20 oil executives are scheduled to meet President Trump and top officials at the White House today, with the administration pushing them to rebuild Venezuela's battered energy sector. The scheduled lineup is a who's who of oil titans, with Chevron, Exxon, ConocoPhillips, and other companies responding to the president's call to discuss potentially reviving Venezuela's production. Checking on your money, stock futures have been fluctuating as investors focus on the December jobs report. Also on the radar, a possible Supreme Court ruling on President Trump's tariffs. Yesterday, the S&P 500 finished the day little changed. And Rio Tinto and Glencore are in talks to create the world's largest miner. The industry has been gripped by takeover fever, with the biggest producers looking to bulk up on copper. Copper prices rose above $13,000 a ton for the first time this week. Earlier merger talks between the two companies collapsed a little over a year ago. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Holidays are over and school is back in session. But Rapids Parish Library is ready to help your students succeed. From free homework help and research tools to computers, Wi-Fi, tutoring resources, and study spaces, your library is your students' best resource. Do you need help with projects, test prep, or just a quiet place to focus? It's all here and it's all free. Visit Rapids Parish Library and rpl.org to discover everything your library can do for you and your students.
Good morning. Showers and scattered thunderstorms throughout the day today, and the potential of some severe thunderstorms rolling through. Afternoon highs near 77 degrees. That chance of rain, a 70% chance. That 70% chance of rain will carry over into the evening hours tonight as well, and overnight, with the potential again of some more severe weather rolling through. Overnight lows down to 59. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Now back to Talk Back, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
They're throwing it. Carson Beck. He's going to run it into the south. Wow. Carson Beck takes the lead in the Fiesta Bowl.
All right, welcome back, everyone, here on Talkback. Al Quartermont along with Stephen Maxwell. Wow, the Fiesta Bowl, that game was phenomenal last night. Don't know if you had a chance to see it. It was Ole Miss in Miami, basically the semifinals for the national championship. And Ole Miss had taken the lead with about 3 minutes left before Carson Beck, who was essentially a cast-off by the Georgia Bulldogs after taking them to a conference title last year. He transfers down to Miami and now has them in the national championship game, which, by the way, on January 19th will be played in Miami. So it becomes a home game, essentially, for the Hurricanes. We've got the other semifinal matchup coming up tonight as Oregon takes on Indiana, and whichever team wins that will face Miami for the national championship game. Welcome back on Talkback. I'm Al Quartermont along with Stephen Maxwell. This is a huge football weekend. So you had one semifinal game last night. You have another tonight. You have 2 NFL playoff games Saturday. Then you have 3 on Sunday, and then there's 1 Monday night as well.
Just goes to show you with the ratings, college football has to do it on Thursday and Friday, even with a wild card game on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's actually something that I've heard a few people kind of raise the issue with, that college football has kind of seceded its most important time of the year, the postseason, to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you think of college football, what day do you think of? Saturday, right? And yet, here we are at this important time of year for the playoffs and the big games.
Wow.
And they're playing around the NFL, which, let's face it, college football is the farm system for the NFL. So I think college football has to have a real sit-down type thing this year to discuss all of this, the playoffs, the formatting, the timing, how this relates to the transfer portal, the change of coaches, et cetera, because it's not working right now. Not the way it should. I mean, you still see a game like last night on the field. It's still a beautiful sport, but all the other things that are going on with it are taking away from it. And yeah, on a Thursday night for one of your 3 most important games of the year, that's just kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, the market's just bigger for the NFL.
It is,
yeah.
But I mean, it's huge for college football too. So I just think they need to capitalize on what they do best.
What would you do? Just move the season
I
back?
think, I think they need to have the regular season end a little sooner and make sure that probably you wrap things up on January 1st. That way you don't have to deal with some of the concerns about the transfer portal and all. Because think about it, if you're a young man, you're thinking about transferring to a different school, you've got to really make up your mind. And if your team is playing January 19th because they've made the national championship, you really can't leave because most schools have started up already.
College football is the most aggravating sport.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
It
And it
has
was even
become
before this. It's just it's so convoluted and annoying to me.
You like the purity of the NFL better.
Yeah, I want the ones who are all making millions, not just some of them.
That's right. All right, let's go to the phones. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Got a question about last night's game from y'all's perspective as far as Al, you watched the game. I don't know if Steven did, but
I just figured out who won just now.
Yeah, well, there you go. Whether or not you thought there were any bias in the announcers.
Was there a bias in the announcers?
The covers, the play-by-play or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
The way it appeared. Anyway.
Okay. So what did you hear that made you feel that way? I'm just curious.
Well, it's just the way they were all hyped up about Miami this, Miami that, and this, that. And they gave some kudos to Ole Miss, but it was continual throughout the deal that it came across that they really wanted Miami to win.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the perception. I mean, even the coverage and the replays and all of that, that's the way it came across.
Okay.
So I didn't know if it was just me or if other people like that, but that was my perception.
Yeah.
That, I mean, the way they if Miami made a good play, the way they talked about it, the way they covered it, the way they showed the replays of it.
Interesting. I guess I wasn't looking for it as much, so I didn't. But it's quite possible.
I already did that.
So.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. No, I was going to say, I don't know that I was listening for that as much, but I feel like that's a constant criticism of national announcers, that they're biased for one particular team or another. I think they get that a lot. So sometimes it depends who you're rooting for, too.
Right. I understand, but I thought the game was well played. That's
yes,
for sure.
Very much so. I mean, Ole Miss, they had it. Their defense really just kind of let them down, especially there in the second half. But now LSU can get their coordinator back.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
All right. Enjoy
Thank
the
you.
show.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's what's crazy, Stephen, is I'm talking about this calendar, and Lane Kiffin comes to LSU, leaves Ole Miss, doesn't get a chance to coach his team all the way to the finish, but Ole Miss wanted him gone, but they still wanted his offensive coordinator to stay because they needed him. It's just the whole thing has been screwy, and I feel bad for the players because it's kind of put them in the middle of all of it, and they just played through it. But it's kind of dumb when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very dumb.
Yeah,
actually.
it's a dumb sport.
Well, it's not a dumb sport. I think you have dumb people running it.
It's just the way it's set up. It's never going to be. I don't know if there's really a good way to go about it.
Well, I mean,
it's just too vast.
You go down to the playoff division, which used to be 1AA. You go to Division 2. You go to Division 3. They have no problem getting their seasons done by the end of the year. So why not use that same model that's been working well for all of these other levels and make it consistent? You could have a 16-team playoff. Heck, you could probably even have a 32-team playoff. You'd probably have to eliminate the conference championship games, which I realize conferences make a lot of money off that, so they may not want to do that. But at the same time, this just is not working. Not really. It's not working for the coaches. It's not working for the players. It's not working for the fans. The only people that really it's maybe working for are those that make the money, i.e. the networks. But even they're recognizing that this is kind of stupid.
I think the players like it more.
Yes and no. I mean, yeah, the transfer portal gives them more opportunities to go other places, and the NIL allows them to make money while doing it. But it does put a lot of them in bad situations, too.
Well, that's the extent of my knowledge, so.
Okay, well, thanks for sharing that. Let's take another call. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Yeah, you kind of stole my thunder. Your calendar makes perfect sense to everybody but the networks.
Right.
And those are the people who sign the check on the front of the check, not on the back of the check.
Yeah.
And as long as the networks are signing that check on the bottom right-hand corner of the front of the check, that ain't going to change.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and next time somebody complains about the transfer portal, remind them of this game. Almost all the skilled players on both sides of the ball were products of the transfer portal. It makes a better product.
Right.
It makes a better viewing product. And then last about the announcers, for years, you know why I don't hear the bias of announcers? I mute the sound.
Oh, really?
The game is the product, not the announcers.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So, I mean, your calendar makes perfect sense, but it'll never work because that's not where the money is.
Yeah.
And to quote, that great social movie, Jerry Maguire, Show Me the Money.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it is.
Yeah. Yep. So you're telling me it's a profit deal?
Golly, y'all are learning. I feel like I'm in class.
Thanks for.
Oh, by the way, I'm a little late on this, but I want to congratulate the left for finding their ICE Michael Brown, George Floyd martyr to promote. So congratulations to the left. I mean, using the death of an American has been a political tool since Crispus Attucks was killed. So I congratulate the left for finding their martyr.
Okay. Thanks, man. Have a good day. We appreciate it. We'll take a break.
KSYL.
You too could have a beautiful smile in as little as 12 weeks. Exclusive to Today's Dental in Pineville, Virtual Align Clear Aligners. The fastest, most convenient, affordable way to straighten your teeth for people on the go. Plus, they're invisible. No one will know you're doing it. Experience the Virtual Align difference. Call Today's Dental at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. 448-4540.
.970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talkback.
Good. My goal in life is to retire as the owner that won the most Super Bowls. That's my goal. To be retired in the NFL as the owner that won the most Super Bowls. We've got 3. How many more do I have to go as a single owner? Bob's got how many? 6. So I've got
work to do.
Got work to do. I got work to do, but at least I'm up to the second rung in the ladder. But my goal is to have retired and won the most Super Bowl as an owner.
Jerry, I'll follow up on that. Were you ever actually retired?
Well, I will go down. No, I'm not going to say that. If, I'm not going to say.
He's a 10-toe high guy.
I'm not going to say that at all. But listen.
All right, welcome back on Talkback, everyone. Alan Stephen with you. Does he even hear himself?
It just makes me so mad.
That's your owner, Jerry.
But he's been saying that since I've been alive.
So he wants to go down as the owner with the most Super Bowls. And as you heard him say, he has 3. Robert Kraft, owner of the Patriots, has 6. Here's the 2 problems. 1, Jerry Jones is 83 years old. 2, he hasn't won a Super Bowl in 30 years?
Since 1996.
That's 30 years.
Don't remind me. Are you doing this to just make me mad?
No, but I think like you talk about somebody that just doesn't seem to be in touch with his own reality.
Well, if he wanted to be the owner with the most Super Bowls, he could have done it by just being an owner.
Yeah.
And not trying to be the GM and the pseudo head coach and this complete waste of time that he's been. He's been more destructive.
Just think if he had left Jimmy Johnson in place.
Troy says he thought they would probably win 5. You never know what would have happened. But
yeah, no, I think that's very
well,
fair.
they almost won 4. They lost the NFC Championship game with just some stupid blunders.
Oh, I know.
I think he honestly sold his soul to the devil when he got rid of Johnson, put in Barry Switzer, and, all the onus was on Jones at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, devil, if you can just get me one without Johnson, just to show it was me the whole time, I'll never ask for anything else. And he got his one when they beat the Packers. I mean, when they beat the Steelers. The Steelers, they beat the Packers in the championship game.
As one of our friends would say.
They beat him in the championship game.
Yeah.
And he got it, and he used his blood magic, and it's all gone. It's all gone. I'm highly convinced. I'm not a superstitious person, but that's the one I do believe in. He's even mentioned it, too. He's like, I asked God, and I don't think I'm going to get another one now. So.
Well, the good news is once he's done, you'll have his son. Isn't it son Stephen?
Stephen with a PH, not a V. So, but yeah, Stephen Jones is probably next in line, and he's probably going to be about the same. One thing Jones has done well is he's a good marketer.
You know which team has the best owner?
I have to think about it. Not the Browns, not the Jets.
No, no.
The best owner to me is, I don't know.
The Packers, because they're owned by the fans. They're a public trust.
I know.
So they don't really have an owner per se. They have a president, but they don't have an owner. So guess what? They tend to focus mostly on the football.
Interesting. So like a co-op or something.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a problem too. And Jones was on his little private yacht with all the other billionaires on St. Whatever Island the other day. He needs to focus on winning championships for us peasants. And so I know he's passionate about it. I just don't think he does a good job.
So you were born what year?
92. So I've been alive for 3. I was just 1, 2, and 4 when it happened. So, and I've spent a lot of my life.
I can relate because
time and energy on them.
Growing up in Wisconsin, I was born in 65, and then the Packers won the Super Bowls. I guess they would have been in 67 and 68. So way too young to remember. And then
68, 69.
No.
The Super Bowl? Maybe you're right.
1 and 2. But I began to think when I was growing up, wow, this franchise will never win another one. But then along came Brett Favre.
Well, the Cowboys the past couple of years had an opportunity because they do draft well.
Yeah.
And they drafted a good crop of guys, Diggs, Parsons, blah, blah, blah. And they had that window where they're all under rookie contracts so you can make the salary cap work better.
Mm-hmm.
They got there. They had the team. But of course, they just can't get past. Something stupid would happen in the divisional round, and they would just lose. So they missed that window. It's going to take a couple of years, and hopefully Dak is still going to be able to function properly.
Diggs and Parsons, boy, both of them are in Green Bay now.
That's right. Green Bay gets our sloppy seconds.
And of course, Parsons is out for the year with an ACL injury, but they just signed Diggs, and he'll be playing Saturday when the Packers take on the Bears.
I was pretty sad about Diggs just because he was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
He was so good for a while.
Well, now you can root for the
Good
Packers.
character. Oh, I'll never do that.
I'll let you borrow my cheesehead hat.
I don't hate him as much now that Rodgers is gone.
Yeah.
They were talking about media bias with the announcers. The most god-awful, Aaron Rodgers is the greatest. And it just drove me nuts every single time.
Or Chris Collinsworth with Patrick Mahomes.
Man, Aaron Rodgers not only is the greatest quarterback, I mean, absolutely phenomenal man.
He was doing it Sunday when they had that game between the Steelers and Ravens. You know, this is where an Aaron Rodgers will just... It's like, I mean, Aaron is not the quarterback he was 5 or 6 years ago, obviously. He still can get it done, but the effusive praise that's the problem with someone like Collinsworth. It's like, just call the game. You don't have to hype these guys. We already know they're good. We already appreciate their talents. Just, you know who's really become a great analyst, though, to me, is Tom Brady. I think he's doing a great job. He's fun to listen to. He's enthusiastic. And he really tells you, like, the particulars of the game. Like, and Romo was like that off the bat.
He had a shtick.
Yeah.
And it's kind of worn out. And I'm the biggest Romo fan.
Yeah, I know you are.
But I think the best is Greg Olson.
He does a good job.
Yeah,
he does. He does.
I like Kevin Burkhardt as play-by-play. Does a good job.
Yeah.
I think it's time for Al, what's his name?
Michaels?
Al Michaels to just hang it up. He's obviously lost a couple
People
steps.
say that, but what was the last game that he called? It was, I can't remember. It was one of the Thursday games, but he did a great job on that game. I think it might have been the last Thursday game of the year. So, yeah, honestly, sometimes I get the sense, listening to him now, that he's kind of bored by it. But, I mean, he's doing Thursday night games, which a lot of times you don't have that energy like you do for Sunday or Monday. So an announcer is going to feed off the energy of the game a little bit, too. If you have, like, the Jets and the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football, it's not easy to get excited.
You know, and you know me, like, I was a rabid Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
Never missed games. I skipped class if it meant I had to.
Oh, yeah.
I have season tickets.
I can verify.
But it's just like I'm tired of the same old, same old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe they're just tired of watching a football game. You know? It's just...
Well, I think that's with anything, people that are in something, even when it's a really cool job, it becomes too familiar. And I can attest to that from when I covered pro sports in Milwaukee for a few years. The level of complaining that came from the sports media, I'm like, guys, every single fan in the stadium would trade places with you right now to have the opportunities and the access you have, and you act like, you know, I'm not going to compare it to the other jobs because I don't want to make it seem like I'm throwing shade at them, but it's just, that used to drive me crazy.
Yep. However, it is an exhausting job. I contend that sports journalists have the most tiresome job. It's got to work whenever the games are happening, plus your other stuff you have to get done.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's not like it is on the line as maybe like an investigative journalist where you could get sued or something like that, but it's just very tiring.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to do sports reporting, because I was like, I might start hating it.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, sometimes when you go from what you love to what you have to do to earn a living, it can lose some of the charm, for sure. All right. We never lose the charm for doing this show, though, and we'll be right back.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
I start every workday morning off the same way. I stop in and pick up breakfast at Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express. It's convenient, quick, and oh so good. Croissants, biscuits, breakfast subs, and their hot coffee is the perfect pick-me-up. They always ask me why I'm in such a good mood when I get to work. Improve your mood. Stop by Wilmore's any weekday morning from 6 till 9 and get your day started right. That's Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express right there on the corner of North MacArthur Drive and Bayou Rapides Road.
Have a Class A or B CDL? Want to drive a local route every day? If you said yes, then you're who we're looking for. Waste Connections of Alexandria, Natchitoches, and Lafayette is hiring drivers with CDL license. You'll get competitive wages, paid vacations, a company stock program, a 401k with company match, medical, dental, vision, life, and disability insurance, and a local route with you at home with your family every night. Apply now at wasteconnections.com/employment. That's wasteconnections.com.
This is Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple. Sometimes dealing with an insurance company doesn't go the way it's supposed to, but you're not alone. If you have problems with an insurance company, agent, or adjuster, maybe want to talk about your coverage, or just have questions about an insurance issue, the Louisiana Department of Insurance is here to help you. Contact us at 800-259-5300, online at ldi.la.gov, or through our LDI Connect app.
It's Talkback 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
All right, we are back. We got about a minute left in this hour. Much more coming up in hour number 2. We made it almost the whole hour without really talking about Minnesota.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
We got a whole new hour coming up.
We do. So, coverage-wise, what you got planned for today? Anything big?
Well, probably the biggest story of the year, 9 days in, Olive Garden is having their ribbon cutting ceremony. So maybe they'll have some breadsticks for us or something. But we're doing that and a couple of other things. Pretty busy day. A lot of stuff that's not going to be posted, but just stuff I have to get
the ribbon cutting, meaning they're open already? Or
no, they open in a couple days.
In a couple more days, okay.
This is the chamber ribbon cutting.
Yeah. With all the red coats and the red ribbon.
So exciting, you know. People are pumped about that. Some people are like, wah, wah, wah. But it's good to see things opening up. Yesterday I went to the almost completed Walker Kia dealership, brand new one just off Coliseum Boulevard by the Honda one.
Saw that.
Beautiful building. That's a good sign too, seeing them expand. So some other stuff coming up too. There's another one, I just forgot what it is. Oh, I'm interviewing the new school board member, so we can learn what she wants to do.
All right.
Over for Linda Burgess.
Sounds good. All right, much more coming up in hour number 2, so stay with us.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenla Broadcasting. AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We're getting more insight into a shooting by a Border Patrol agent at a traffic stop in Portland, Oregon. Comes from a dispatch call.
It looks like caller saying that he was shot twice by ICE and his wife was shot as well.
Agents say the driver tried to run one of them over with a car when they were detained in a targeted stop on a suspected Venezuelan gang member. The mayor of Minneapolis is expected to have more to say next hour about the ICE shooting involving a mother of 3. CBS's Usher Qureshi.
Initially, what we were told was this was supposed to be a joint investigation, obviously led by the FBI, but also inclusive of state authorities. And what we were told by those state authorities is that the FBI has essentially blocked them from access to evidence, case material, interviews, body cam, etc. And as a result, they said that they can't conduct an independent investigation.
Avelo Airlines says it'll stop providing deportation flights for ICE.
Avelo says its deal with ICE has not made it enough money, so it will shut down its migrant flight hub at Mesa Gateway Airport in Phoenix later this month. Avelo has caught a lot of heat from immigration advocates and some lawmakers. New York Democratic State Senator Pat Fahey introduced the Safe Air Act,
which targets Avelo and any airline that is violating constitutional fundamental rights of their passengers.
The bill would block airlines that provide deportation flights from contracting with the state. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The Labor Department reports employers added 50,000 jobs to close out the year in December. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
It's a little bit less than the 60,000 expected, but well within the range of expectations. But for the year, job creation really did slow down,
Getting the blame, uncertainty over the economy, and AI. 2 people have been killed, 36 are missing after an avalanche of garbage at a landfill in the Philippines collapsed. The BBC's Jonathan Head.
This enormous, colossal avalanche of waste came down the hillside and crushed buildings that are related to the waste management facility. And they're finding it very, very difficult to trace the people who are still buried there. It's obviously very unpleasant material to go through. They've got construction equipment up there.
Officials say 13 people were rescued alive. One of them died later. Lawsuit dismissed against Universal Music.
Here I go again, girl.
A federal judge in New York has tossed Salt and Peppa's legal action, accusing the label of refusing to honor their legal right to reclaim ownership of their master recordings. The judge calls the claim baseless. Dow futures up 145. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Guys, if you want the greatest night of your life, I mean your best night ever, then you gotta hear this. There's a new ED pill out, and it's from the makers of Viagra. It's their first new ED pill in over 20 years. This new super pill is called Viagra AGV, and it's unbelievable. It works super fast in only 11 minutes and lasts up to 14 hours. Thanks to its new vasodynamic delivery system. Plus, it's FDA approved and safe. There has never been any ED pill like it. It's unreal what it does to you. In testing, Viagra AGV crushed every other ED pill. It destroyed them all. And now, 9 out of 10 urologists are recommending Viagra AGV over any other ED pill. Every man alive needs to try this new Viagra AGV super pill at least once. Then you'll know why men are going crazy over it. So if you want to have the most incredible night of your life, you can't miss this. Go to scoreblue.com and try it while supplies last. That's scoreblue.com.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Sean Burns. A quarterback that LSU was reportedly interested in signing has decided he will not transfer. So where do Lane Kiffin and company go from here? Andre Champagne reports.
LSU had its sights set on Washington quarterback Damon Williams Jr., but last night Williams announced that he was staying in Seattle. So now it's back to square one for Lane Kiffin. Tiger Rag magazine editor Glenn Guilbeau says Kiffin has a new prime target.
Sam Levitt's the best one out there right now, I think. He had a really good season at Arizona State. He's a running quarterback as well.
Levitt, however, just had foot surgery and will miss spring football. LSU currently doesn't have a single scholarship quarterback on its roster. I'm Andre Champagne.
A cold front is moving into Louisiana, and experts say we'll see some stormy weather. LSU health climatologist Barry Keim says tomorrow will be a transitional day before temperatures really start to plummet.
The high temperatures on Sunday are only going to be in the upper 50s. Huge contrast compared to the upper 70s and 80s that we're experiencing on Friday and Saturday.
LRN.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of Cenla's best at Bricato's restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt in your mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Bricato's restaurant, 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
Good morning. Showers and scattered thunderstorms throughout the day today, and the potential of some severe thunderstorms rolling through. Afternoon highs near 77 degrees. That chance of rain, a 70% chance. That 70% chance of rain will carry over into the evening hours tonight as well. And overnight, with the potential again of some more severe weather rolling through. Overnight lows down to 59. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
I think the city of Minneapolis is on edge. I think the country is on edge right now. You say the investigation is ongoing.
The investigation just started.
Just started. You say you can't comment on the video, which many Americans are seeing and reacting to.
I'm not going to make a judgment call on one video when there's 100 videos out there. I wasn't on the scene. I'm not an officer that may have body cam video. It'd be unprofessional to comment on what I think happened in that situation. Let the investigation play out and hold people accountable based on the investigation.
I think many members of the public are calling for the same thing. And so they're confused. Maybe you can help me understand how the Department of Homeland Security could conclude so swiftly that this is a, quote, act of domestic terrorism, that this woman, quote, weaponized her vehicle. By the very same standard you described, this investigation is just getting started.
That's the question for Homeland Security. I'm the border czar. Well, I can tell you what I've seen on my airplane ride here, looking at numerous videos, seeing numerous social media posts, statements from Homeland Security, statements from Secretary Noem. I'll leave it at that.
But as a law enforcement officer,
what good is it to do right now to me prejudge the facts of what happened today without giving law enforcement professionals, whether it's the FBI or the local police there, give them time to look at all the videos, talk to all the witnesses, talk to the officers, and make an educated decision on what occurred today. That's what needs to happen. I've been a cop since 1984. That is a process we must go through.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2. It's Alan Stephen with you here this morning. That was our border czar, Tom Homan, talking last night with Tony Dokapil from CBS, the new anchor of CBS Evening News, talking about the fatal shooting of the 37-year-old woman by an ICE agent that happened on Wednesday.
Was it so hard to do to just say that? Was it that hard?
Not for
that
him.
Is exactly
That's
how
what
a
you said
leader
yesterday.
should answer this question.
Yeah.
This is a bipartisan issue too. The left-leaning governor and mayor over in Minnesota and the administration making political judgments. They're politicizing it, but they don't care. It's not about toning down the rhetoric. It's not about releasing some of the tension. It's about stoking the flames.
Mm-hmm.
Homan hit the nail on the head. That's responsible. That's being a leader. That's being professional. And that's trying not to make things worse.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter to everyone else, these politicians. It's about stoking the flames and making things worse for your base or making it to prove a point. Let's get the adults in the room. That's all I'm asking.
Well, that's what you said yesterday, is we really don't know until we see or hear the body camera footage. I mean, there are a lot of angles to it. And
look, I don't have a political point to make. I don't care who is what party's in power generally, you know? And I'm not trying to say, I'm the almighty swing voter. It's just, I don't have a political point to make. So I feel like if we just sit back and let the facts play out, a lot of these assertions you're hearing are from people who were very passionate about their side of the issue.
Yeah. At the same time, I think what also has come out about the woman who was shot is, I think it's been framed in some camps as, here was just this nice mother of 3 driving through and, all of a sudden this guy just shot her. It's not exactly that. I mean, this woman is an activist. She's been part of this group that monitors where ICE is going, and they try to make their jobs more difficult. I've even seen video of her wife was outside the vehicle, shooting footage of this.
And that's fine. But it's labeling it as a domestic terrorist before we know anything, too, is also wrong.
Yeah.
And the left saying, ICE, get the F out. It's just, come on. No. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So if everyone can relax.
I saw an interesting take. This is a young woman.
But the other side is saying that her family was coming out saying she was Christian, loving mother, and she was checking on her kids. We don't know the facts. You don't know the facts. You want to believe a certain set of facts. I'm not judging you. I'm saying hypothetically you. Because that's the side you lean on. And it might very well be that. She might end up being a domestic terrorist looking to run over ICE. I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah. But I don't have a point to prove.
Wait, I thought the FBI labeled domestic terrorists a few years ago as mothers attending school board meetings.
Yeah. See, but then again, we're trying to politicize it. And it is a political issue.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this, was it a justified killing? And that's what we have to come to a conclusion with.
All right. I want to play this video. It's a young woman who was at the protests last evening, and she has a really, I think, fair, balanced assessment of what's going on. So take a listen to this. I don't know her name. She's just somebody that posted this last night.
I'm a Minneapolis native, and I just left the protest site from where the ICE shooting incident occurred yesterday. I want to give you my two thoughts because I feel like nobody in mainstream media is covering this correctly. The left and right see this incident very differently. The right believes that she was trying to ram the officer and injure him. The left believes that she was just innocently trying to get away. There's no way to know for sure what she was trying to do here. What we do know is that within, a little over 24 hours, there's a very well-coordinated effort to get a protest going here in Minneapolis. That began within hours of the incident. Now, Tim Walz and Jacob Frey are kind of egging it on, in my opinion, saying, ICE, get the F out of here. Walz is calling this a civil war, calling the ICE officer a rogue officer and saying that National Guard are going to come in and almost get ICE out of here, which does sound like a civil war. But to me, when I visited the protest site, this is what was very apparent to me. Protesters are blockading the streets so that normal drivers cannot drive down that road. They've blocked a couple blocks off. This is not police putting in barricades. This is not any type of law enforcement doing that, National Guard. This is protesters. Where I was standing with media, and the protesters were screaming at all of us in media, telling us that we are the problem and telling us what angles people were allowed to film at and telling us not to film at all. And what's even more absurd about that is that media was paying attention, but it was kind of scary. It's scary to be yelled at like that. We're also people wearing fluorescent vests directing traffic. Again, these are not protesters. Maybe some of them are protesters. These are just random passersby, and they are being barked orders at by people who look like they're official. They're wearing kind of official vests, telling them where to go. Once they cleared enough cars, they brought in this big van. And this van had supplies in it that they were unloading. And these protesters are not letting anybody not affiliated with the movement go closer towards the scene. In my opinion, I think it'll get pretty violent either tonight or tomorrow or both. If you look back at the 2020 George Floyd riots, it was the second and third nights that progressively got worse and spread throughout the city. If I had to guess, that it's going to happen now too, although tomorrow will be colder, so maybe not. And one more thing, a lot of the protesters are dressed in camo and they have bulletproof vests on. So it seems like they're gearing up for a real fight. Bothering me about this though, and what nobody is covering, is that the police let protesters get away with this type of behavior in Minnesota. And that is ultimately, in my opinion, what cost this woman her life. 10 years ago, I remember talking to police officers who told me that they've basically been given a stand down order, that they just let the protesters do whatever they want to do when something like this happens. So that woman, when she drove away yesterday, probably thought the police would let her get away with it. ICE doesn't follow those same orders. ICE doesn't give the stand down orders. The reason I feel like this is so tragic is because this is entirely preventable. The Minneapolis police did not let left-wing activists get away with whatever they want to do, block off city blocks, shut down highways for the last 10 years. I'm sure yesterday's outcome would have been different. It's really sad for my city that it's like this.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah. I appreciate, that's why I love Twitter, because you can get so much more unfiltered, unvarnished thoughts from people who are actually there than through kind of the lens of especially what the national media try to bring you.
Yeah. No, I've said that a million times. We learn so much more. Some of it fake, so you really have to be vigilant about what you consume.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I can agree. A lot of the George Floyd stuff, burning down businesses, wrecking your city, is just absurd, petulant children.
Yep.
And then you're not making anyone agree with you. You're making it worse. That's my 2 cents.
It's terrible that they shot this black man. Oh, let me take this TV while I'm in this Best Buy. Ransacking it.
Yeah, it's awful. So let's hope it doesn't get to that again.
And, of course, the infamous moment with CNN. It's a mostly peaceful protest while the city's burning behind them. Oh, gosh.
Or what was the one in Missouri?
Oh, yeah.
That was awful.
Yeah, that
burning
was
the city down.
Right outside of St. Louis.
Yeah.
But you know what you're seeing, and I feel like a lot of the national media doesn't really cover this well, is that most of these protests that escalate are not the people in those communities, at least not exclusively. There are a lot of outside agitators that are coming into these communities, and in a lot of stories where I remember that one you're talking about, Ferguson, Missouri.
Ferguson, that's it.
Yeah, remember Boyd Hooper did a story on it, and that's what somebody said. He said these aren't even people from our community because they were burning down or damaging, like, for example, Black-owned businesses and people just trying to make their living helping that community that just lost everything.
I remember that story very well. I remember all his stories very well. If you're bored, look up Boyd Hooper.
Yeah.
Great reporter out of KARE 11 in
Minneapolis.
Right. But yeah, I don't agree with a lot of the type of protesting we see in these situations. America's been through this a number of times the past 15 years, and I'm hoping we learn more as we go. But another point I want to make, we always say the national media doesn't cover this, the national media doesn't cover that. I just don't know how much of a sway they have on the American public anymore, to be completely honest.
Right. No.
I am a heavy news consumer, and I'm not. I don't even watch those things. And I'm not saying my experience is everybody else's.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, most millennials and Gen Zers and all, they're not
If you
watching
see it,
that.
what you're seeing are clips of it on social media.
Possibly, yeah.
Right. Like
that's
the
fair.
Tom Homan interview. You didn't watch the CBS Evening News last night, but you're seeing how people are sharing clips of that
Yeah.
exchange.
Well, I got the Tom Homan interview from a politically leaning YouTube channel. So that's how I usually get it.
Gotcha. All right. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Yeah, I hate to double dip, but I try to take every opportunity to call when I agree with Stephen. We don't know. We do not know what happened, but the media doesn't care.
Yes,
they don't care what happened. They want to agitate, and when I say the media, of course, I don't mean the media personalities on a personal level. I mean the organizations. And they don't care. And by the way, that was Michael Brown, the hands up, don't shoot deal that happened in Missouri. But see, they've already have organizations protesting in Nashville, in New York City, and San Diego, and San Francisco about this incident that happened in Minnesota. So the left organization, not the normal Democrats who happen to vote with a blue check. I'm talking about the left organization are out there. They were waiting for this, and that's what's so cynical. They were waiting for somebody's death to make a martyr out of them so that they could protest against the government. That's sick. It's the exact same thing they did with George Floyd, same thing they did with George Zimmerman in Florida, the same thing they did with Michael Brown, all the way back to the Boston Massacre. This is what our country has always done, and it's cynical and sick.
Absolutely.
That's a
Absolutely.
fair point.
And what you're finding by people that do investigate these protests is you have a lot of these very strong left-leaning Marxist-type organizations that are being funded. They're not organic protesters. Like even that last clip I played of that lady from Minnesota, she mentioned how there was and I saw the video while she was talking, it looked like kind of an old delivery truck that was dropping off materials they weren't really allowed to see. Well, where do these bricks come from? Where do, and you see pictures from time to time where like all of a sudden a pile of bricks is there where the protest is. This is not organic protesting. I don't know.
Well, even this young lady, I call her young because I'm 37 is young to me, but even she went to school in Virginia at Old Dominion, lived in Kansas City, Missouri, moved to Canada for a short time, and then moved back to Minneapolis. And she and her wife made a point of following ICE around as legal observers. Now, I don't know if that's actually a term or something they've made up, but that's not even real. That's not people in Minnesota and Minneapolis saying, gee, we don't want our community disturbed by ICE. That is a professional agitator coming in from outside.
Yep.
So this whole thing is contrived.
Yep. Yeah, I saw somebody yesterday had posted, everyone says, oh, what's wrong with Minnesota? He said, don't say what's wrong with Minnesota because most of Minnesota is country type folk, live in farms and places like that. It's what's wrong with Minneapolis. This whole state suffers because of what's going on in Minneapolis.
Yeah, that's most cities, I'd say.
Yeah.
Most states.
Yeah,
right.
Illinois, Chicago, Wisconsin, Milwaukee. I mean, it's the same thing. Los Angeles, California. I mean, it's the same thing. Louisiana, Shreveport, and New Orleans. I mean, it's the same across all states. But I will just say one thing about Minnesota and Minneapolis. I am very pleased that they're trying to correct this by opening Leering centers all over the city.
What centers?
Leering centers?
Yeah. Look, that's how the Somalis spelled learning on their sign. Leering Center. So they got our tax money for a Leering Center, not a Leering Center.
That's right. Wow.
Yeah, so anyway,
that's
have
a
a good
wild story in
day. And I am so glad that Tim Walz is predicting that the National Guard is going to stand up to the government like they did in the Battle of Gettysburg. That's very helpful as well. So have a good day.
Did you hear who the front runner is going to be? Probably in Minnesota.
It's not Jesse Ventura. I know that.
No. Klobuchar.
Amy Klobuchar. God help them.
Because they were trying to postulate if a Republican could win, and they said it would be pretty tough because of Minneapolis.
I'll tell you how a Republican would win if they started using voter ID.
Maybe so. Well, they didn't have it for the last one, and they won the presidency. So,
but I think Kamala got more votes there than he did.
Oh, maybe I'm talking about across the nation.
Yeah. It's amazing the parallels. States without voter ID tend to be the most Democrat and seem to have the most corruption. Interesting how that works. We'll take a break. We got more calls coming up.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
Thursday, January 2nd is a day for miracles. On that day, Cenla's premier media outlets, KALB TV and Cenla Broadcasting, are joining together for a full-day mediathon, raising funds and awareness for Children's Miracle Network in Christus St. Francis Cabrini Hospital. We'll be taking your pledges. We'll offer a $10 gumbo lunch, and we'll do our best to make a difference for our local children who are in need. On January 22nd, tune in to our sister station, Q93, for your chance to help.
Hi, how are you? Like really? Me and other Louisiana 988 specialists are ready to listen and provide free emotional support. No problem is too big or too small. So whether you're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, lonely, maybe you need resources or even just someone to talk to, we're here. It's free, confidential, and we're here 24/7. Call or text 988 anytime.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL. Now back to Talkback.
I'll take some questions. I really just one final observation here. When I was actually walking out here, somebody sent me a photo of a CNN headline about what happened in Minneapolis. And this is the headline. I'm just going to read it. Outrage after ICE officer kills U.S. citizen in Minneapolis. Well, that's one way to put it, and that is the way that many people in the corporate media have put this attack over the last 24 hours. And I say attack very, very intentionally, because this was an attack on federal law enforcement. This was an attack on law and order. This was an attack on the American people. The way that the media, by and large, has reported this story has been an absolute disgrace, and it puts our law enforcement officers at risk every single day. What that headline leaves out is the fact that that very ICE officer nearly had his life ended, dragged by a car 6 months ago, 33 stitches in his leg. So you think maybe he's a little bit sensitive about somebody ramming him with an automobile? What that headline leaves out is that that woman was there to interfere with a legitimate law enforcement operation in the United States of America. What that headline leaves out is that that woman is part of a broader left-wing network to attack, to dox, to assault and to make it impossible for our ICE officers to do their job. If the media wants to tell the truth, they ought to tell the truth that a group of left-wing radicals have been working tirelessly, sometimes using domestic terror techniques to try to make it impossible for the President of the United States to do what the American people elected him to do, which is enforce our immigration laws. The President stands with ICE. I stand with ICE. We stand with all of our law enforcement officers. And part of that is recognizing that you people in the media, not everybody in this room, but many people in this room have been lying about this attack. She was trying to ram this guy with her car. He shot back. He defended himself. He's already been seriously wounded in law enforcement operations before. And everybody who's been repeating the lie that this is some innocent woman who was out for a drive in Minneapolis when a law enforcement officer shot at her, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Every single one of you. Questions?
All right. That's Vice President J.D. Vance. He was taking questions at the White House yesterday during the press briefing that Caroline Levitt does, and kind of went off there a little bit.
There was some question somebody asked, too, he got salty about.
Yeah.
It was in there. I forgot what it was, but
I could probably find it. So his tone a little different than the clip we played with Tom Homan.
Like I said, I would prefer the other response, but that's what they're doing.
Maybe this is the clip. Let me see if this is the one you were referring to, Stephen.
In their heart. Yeah.
In
the green jacket.
Taking down the temperature, it seems like political violence is ramping up and riots could be around the corner. What steps does the administration have planned to try to unite America? Average people on both political sides are so tired of fighting with each other, and I think all the journalists in this room could agree with me that we don't want to be part of the problem. Do you have any words to unite America?
You know, I know you don't want to be part of the problem, and I think that's true of a lot of you. I'm not sure it's true for everybody, because the reporting over this has been one of the biggest scandals I've ever seen in media. I've never seen a case so misrepresented and misreported when you have a guy who was defending himself and is now being treated as some sort of federal assassin by so many of the people in this room. First of all, let me say about crime. You mentioned violence. One of the things we're proudest about is that you saw violent crime over the last year drop by 20%. Why is that drop by 20%? Is it because we're attacking our law enforcement officers, or is it because we in the administration are empowering our law enforcement officers to enforce the law? I think that's one of the ways you take down the temperature, is you make people feel more secure and safe in their person and property. That's why we care so much about protecting our law enforcement, because it accrues to the benefit of the entire national community. I think that we can absolutely talk about the ways in which, we can lower the temperature by discussing differences in a reasonable and rational way. Again, I'm happy to talk with any congressional Democrat or any of you about our immigration policy, about why I think it's necessary, about why I think it's in the best interest of the country, about why the President of the United States was elected to actually enforce the border for the first time in at least 4 years. So here's the problem. That's not the debate so many people are having. They are actively covering for people who are committing acts of violence against federal law enforcement. It is preposterous. The way to take down the temperature is to stop it. Have your debates about policy. Attack me. Attack the President of the United States. Don't attack our law enforcement officers. They are trying to do the job the American people demanded that they do. They are not policy actors. They are enforcing the law. They should be treated with a modicum of dignity and respect. And the fact that they're not is why incidents like yesterday happened. The one final point I'll make about this is, look, there's a part of me that feels very, very sad for this woman, not just because she lost her life, but because I think she is a victim of left-wing ideology. What young mother shows up and decides they're going to throw their car in front of ICE officers who are enforcing legitimate law? You've got to be a little brainwashed to get to that point to where you're willing not just to protest, that's fine, not peacefully protest, but throw your vehicle in front of legitimate law enforcement officers and drive your car into them. To get to that point, you have to be, I think, radicalized in a very, very sad way. I certainly wish that she hadn't got there. I know there's an ICE officer right now who very much wishes he was not put in the position where he had to fire a gun to defend his own life. Yeah.
All right. J.D. Vance. Future President J.D. Vance, maybe.
What do you think? I'm keep giving my opinion.
As far as the overall situation or
Yeah, sure.
The rhetoric?
Sure.
Yeah, all of the above?
Yeah.
I do think that this is the outcome or the consequence of when you keep posing people like ICE who are just doing their job as Gestapo, as villains, as evil. And I mean, but I saw yesterday several, I'm going to call them young women, kind of this 25 to 35 age group, people that I know on Facebook, making posts of, it's this dangerous kind of toxic empathy where they're making it about, oh, look at what these bad men did to this nice mother. I don't know. I worry about, why are people not thinking? They just react emotionally to everything.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Welcome to Earth.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've tried to share a lot of my thoughts the last couple of days, but the tactics that the radical left are using, I don't think a lot of Americans are buying it anymore. I even saw like the headline this morning on Twitter was, ICE agent kills Minneapolis mother, sparks nationwide protests. Is that what's sparking these protests? Because I don't feel like the protests are organic. I don't feel like you have a lot of people across America who are saying, you know what, I'm not going to go to work today. I'm going to protest this. These protests are coordinated, organized events. These are pseudo protests. They're not real protests. Now, you might get a few people that jump in that are genuine about it, but it's AstroTurf.
It might be organized, but there are a lot of people who have a political leaning and they're going to go out there and protest. Like, you just get involved. Like, whenever I posted videos of protests here, the very small ones we had, they're like, how did they get, who bussed them in here? Who are they paid? Like, I know these people personally.
Right.
They're from here, and so I think that's a talking point the right uses sometimes, and it might be true.
But I'm talking about in bigger cities. They don't care about Alexandria.
Yeah, I'm just saying hypothetically, like those hundreds of thousands of people who might be protesting, or tens of thousands.
Right.
I'm sure there's a decent amount of citizens in there that have a political leaning.
Yeah.
And you get wrapped up into something, Like, I'm not trying to bring this up, I promise you, to make a political point. Like January 6th, people just kind of follow along. You get involved with something. We're kind of sheep, us humans.
They need a shepherd.
And if we don't have a good shepherd, we're just going to make it worse. And we got some bad shepherds out there.
I'm not going to let you use my stadium for free.
It's just need some adults in the room.
All right. We got some calls coming in. If you guys can hang on, we need to take a break.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The final jobs report of 2025 is out, and it's weaker than expected. The December jobs report shows the economy added just 50,000 jobs last month. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate fell more than expected to 4.4%, settling back after the record-long government shutdown. Housing starts in the U.S. fell in October to the lowest level since the onset of the pandemic. New residential construction decreased 4.6% to an annual rate of 1.25 million homes in October. An index of home builder sentiment remains at a weak reading of 39, meaning builders see conditions as poor. And as the U.S. government moves to take control of Venezuela's oil industry, Chevron, the only big U.S. company permitted to pump Venezuelan oil, is loading tankers at the quickest pace in more than half a year. According to vessel movements tracked by Bloomberg, Chevron loaded nearly 1.7 million barrels of Venezuelan oil onto ships during the first week in January. That's the most for that period since May, and nearly quintuple the volume of the first week in December. Erica Herskowitz, Bloomberg Radio.
Some smiles sound like this, while others sound this way. If you'd like to improve the way your smile sounds, the folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville can deliver. Over the years, hundreds of Central Louisiana patients have visited Today's Dental and then left completely satisfied. Their dental implant procedure is amazingly simple, low anxiety, and completely affordable. Today's technology makes your beautiful smile easier than ever. The staff at Today's Dental go out of their way to make you comfortable with calming in-office IV sedation that's administered by a highly skilled certified nurse and anesthetist. And their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Want your smile to sound better? Give Today's Dental a call at 318-448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. That's 318-448-4540.
Oh, hello. It's me, the calculator that lives inside of TaxSlayer. And let me tell you, I love numbers. 1040s, 1099s, W-2s, all of them. With TaxSlayer, anyone can file a federal return for just $22.99. You'll get 100% accuracy and your biggest possible refund guaranteed. Now those are great numbers. Need help along the way? We've got U.S.-based real human support. File by February 8th for just $22.99 and get the refund you deserve. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
The new year means new resolutions, not just for your body, but for your finances as well. Did you know that financial health is directly related to your identity protection? This is why you need LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your subscription money back. Resolve to make your identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Visit LifeLock.com and save up to 40% off your first year with a promo code BECK. Terms apply.
Good morning. Showers and scattered thunderstorms throughout the day today, and the potential of some severe thunderstorms rolling through. Afternoon highs near 77 degrees. That chance of rain, a 70% chance. That 70% chance of rain will carry over into the evening hours tonight as well, and overnight, with the potential again of some more severe weather rolling through. Overnight lows down to 59. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
Now back to Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
We're back. BOM Bank Talk Line, number 318-442-8255. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. Sorry to double dip, but can I say something about y'all's last comments?
Mm-hmm.
Stephen said that, we're sheep. And I think a good analogy for Louisiana would be deer. When you're hunting deer and the wind shifts and they sense you, first thing they do is they look up and they focus their hearing. And if they can't see you, they'll stomp their feet, they'll snort. And if they can't get satisfaction that they're safe, one of them throws their tail up and runs. They all throw their tail up and run. And it's because they detected a threat and they look to see if it was really what they thought. If they can't tell for sure that they're safe, they go, they move, they act. Well, this woman, like you pointed out earlier, she was acting out of what she felt was compassion for these people. You played something yesterday, another woman characterizing it as a mothering instinct. Yeah, but she got a lying. She was lied to. She like J.D. Vance said, she was brainwashed. And the real threat is what she did. She became the real threat. When we saw it in Ferguson, when the police cannot do their job correctly because people are interfering, then what do? They pull back. And when the people pull back, who suffers the most? The poorest among us, those who don't live in gated communities, those who live in the inner cities. Because the police don't do their job, then the bad guys thrive. And we all know what these cities are like now. The people want to get out. That we saw in Washington when Trump sent in the National Guard, people who said, this is the first time in decades that I've been able to come out of my house at night. Can you imagine living that way?
No.
I go out of my house at night. I don't think anything about it.
Right.
You got to live in a high trust society. So that woman was doing her best as a deer or a sheep to sound an alarm, but she had been given false information. And so, Stephen, you're a heavy news consumer. I am too. Most people aren't. Most people only catch what's on the evening news right before they go to bed. And I hear our 10 o'clock news. I record it every night. And every time they get that national feed, they are characterizing things in the worst possible way for one side and not the other. They slant it every time. And so they are giving people a false sense of alarm. So these people are treating, I had some woman asked the ICE officers why they wear masks. They said, well, our families are in danger. Your family, can you imagine that? Can you imagine leaving your house not knowing if some of these crazy people are going to come to your house while you're gone and your wife and your child are going to have to deal with them? I could not fathom. There's no way I would stay in that job. So these guys are doing a great job that we need them to do. and we need to defend them. And we need to call out when people use the word Gestapo. Man, if you're not talking about 1930s Gestapo, then they need to lose all credibility.
Yeah, and I think
but
that
until the rank and file Democrats.
I'm sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I thought you were.
Well, no, until the rank and file Democrats call out these people that have captured their party and says, enough, you get out. We're not going to change. Nothing's going to change. So, anyways, I didn't mean to take so long, but when Stephen said that about deer, about sheep, I started thinking about it's right. You're right. The Lord characterizes the sheep. We're weak and we need help. We need a good shepherd. But they have a bad shepherd, and that woman lost her life, her one and only life. She'll never see her kids grow up. You know, my goodness, she'll never have grandkids. You know, and I know how sweet that is. So anyway, thank y'all for letting me speak my piece. Y'all have a great day and a great weekend.
Thanks. What were you going to say?
No, I mean, I think the rhetoric that's been used towards officers has been very damaging. Like he said, the Gestapo, calling them Nazis. Do I agree? Personally, would I agree with everything going on? Possibly not. However, the American people decided they were very, I feel, open about their immigration policy.
Yep.
And they are carrying out lawful actions.
Yep.
Do I think it's a net positive? Do some people think it's a net positive? Maybe not. Some do. But a lot of that rhetoric can be dangerous, for sure.
Yeah.
Just like I think calling everyone that you don't agree with a radical left terrorist is dangerous as well, you know? So I think we just need to turn it down a bit. But hate to be like our cynical caller, we're not.
All right, another call. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I'm a pretty simple old country boy from Tioga, Louisiana. And in regard to all these protests going on all over the country, ever since I graduated school, I have had a full-time job trying to provide for myself and my family. The only time I ever had an opportunity or considered protesting was on election day when I went to the polls to cast my vote. What do all these people do for a living? That we got so many people that have nothing to do but show up and create problems. Then they're not solving anything. I don't understand that.
A lot of them are. There's a group of them. There's definitely a group of them that are paid protesters. That's been documented.
I agree with that.
And I think sometimes, too, when you see these mass protests and you see them get violent or whatever, it hurts your cause. Yeah. It just makes it worse. And the best way you can protest is to peacefully protest and, like you said, go to the ballot box, in my humble opinion.
I agree with that.
Meanwhile, look at what's going on in Iran. And these are people that are protesting at the very risk of their lives because they have no weapons. They have no protection. And now Iran is calling outside countries to come in and help their military because they're crumbling from within to try to preserve something that was started. Actually, it's interesting. A lot of people don't know this. There was a lot of socialist influence that came into Iran in the early 1900s, communist socialist influence that married itself to the Islamic radicals.
I like to add on to that, too, about how fortunate we are to be in America. I think we could get better. I think there could be some things we do differently, obviously. But I'm sitting there watching my wife, who's from Venezuela.
Yep.
I just see her start crying. I was like, why are you crying? She's trying to see, because they're starting to release prisoners after America ordered them to. And she's wondering if she knows anybody getting released, because they still know people that they haven't heard from years. Just sitting there crying, watching Instagram, because we're trying to see who's been named out of these Venezuelan prisons.
Wow.
Yeah. So there are a lot of countries with real problems.
We have a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. We have a lot to be grateful for. And like you said, we could do things better. But all these protests bothers me. And we've allowed people to go too far, too often.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I think it was Ronald Reagan when he was governor of California, and they were having those protests. And he's just like, you have a right to protest. He kind of got mad, and Reagan doesn't really get mad.
Yeah.
He goes, there's like petulant children. You don't get to act like children and to destroy your community.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
And that's what it boils down to.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for taking my call.
Thank you.
Unless it's English tea.
That's right.
You always say that stuff and like, well, that's kind of how we started.
That's true. All right, we're back right after this.
KSYL. Craving mouth-watering barbecue and juicy steaks? Head on over to Cole's Barbecue and Steakhouse, the top barbecue and steakhouse in Alexandria. Our warm and welcoming atmosphere is the perfect setting for a night out with friends or a family dinner. Indulge in our premium barbecue and steaks, fresh salads, and handcrafted burgers. Come as you are, we're ready to serve you. Visit Cole's Barbecue and Steakhouse today on Coliseum Boulevard across from the Rapides Parish Coliseum. Expect real good food.
What's everybody talking about? Find out from Sinlaw Updates with Sinlaw Broadcasting. Fast, focused news from me, Stephen Maxwell, powered by Sinlaw Broadcasting. Follow Sinlaw Broadcasting on Facebook. It's your Sinlaw Update. Local news that hits first and hits different.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talk Back.
American that hasn't lived the terror of socialism will never understand what is going on right now. I don't care if you have a master's degree in whatever. Unless you live it in your own skin, you won't ever understand it. And I think it's terribly disrespectful for anybody to tell a Venezuelan how we should react to that. I think it's terribly disrespectful to the people that have died, saying that Maduro shouldn't be where he is. And I left my country with just the clothes I was wearing and a little bit of diapers and milk that I had left. Don't you dare telling me that this is not a reason for celebration. When I first come into the United States, I cried and had to turn around to my husband and ask him to please help me to open the shower because I didn't even know how to open the shower. When I walked into Walmart and I saw so many options to eat, I couldn't believe myself. Our reality is different. We want to live. And you guys have everything in this country, more than you could ever imagine. And I just wish that you could love it a little bit more and respect it a little bit more. Because if I had to give my life for America, I would.
There you go. And I hate to keep bringing my personal experiences into it, but I'm learning through somebody else too. I've lived my sheltered little American life.
Yep.
And so my wife is not an emotional person. She doesn't cry often. And she, a couple days ago, sitting there just tears in her eyes looking at videos, looking back when they would have to run to grocery stores because the government only lets you go at certain times and you had to run there to make sure you got something. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We're living different realities here.
Yep.
Doesn't mean you don't have a right to discuss things in America that you'd like to fix, but we have no idea what those people go through.
Yeah, 100%. All right, more calls coming in.
Which is why I'm a little sympathetic to the ones wanting to stay.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd want to come here too. All right. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Good morning. That's exactly what is trying to take over this country.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening, and people don't want to recognize it. It's organized groups and it's organized people. The woman up there was not an individual. She was part of an organization. Whether she got there by being brainwashed or not, I don't know. But somebody did it to her, and they're actively trying to take over this country. And they pretty much got the Democrat Party under control. And if people don't recognize that and keep saying that, oh, it's the same on both sides, if you keep standing in the middle of the road, you're going to get run over. And people need to recognize what's coming, because if they take over, just like they did, there won't be a U.S., there won't be anybody else in the world that's going to come and bail us out, like what happened to Venezuela after, 19 years or 20-something years, whatever it's been, because they're going to take over the elections, they're going to change the elections, they're going to change the Supreme Court, they're going to pass legislation that's going to keep them in power forever, just like Russia. I mean, everything is crooked, and that's what they want to impose here. So I don't think it's quite the same on both sides, and I think people that don't recognize that really need to educate themselves. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate the call. Let's try another one. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. So yesterday, y'all were talking with John about the immigrants here locally, right? And those illegal ones who've gotten picked up. And another caller called and had some feedback on that. As a fellow business owner, the problem we find is that people just don't want to work. There aren't. I'm glad that second guy called in and he had applicants for jobs. We find when you have applicants that are available, once they see the job, they don't want to keep doing it. We've been telling people that we've been telling Americans I'm 41 years old. I was told in school that you don't work with your hands, you go get a college career. I was encouraged to go to school, not to go find something that I enjoyed doing. Like I was an adult when I found what I'm doing, and I love it. I love the work. There's a satisfaction at the end of the day. We haven't discouraged that in our country. So these immigrants do serve a purpose. The ones who are here legally, they do serve a purpose. I think what's going on with people rioting or protesting ICE is just stupid. You're saying I don't like the laws. Okay, well you solve the laws by electing different people, and then approaching your congressman or your legislature that way. But like we need people to start doing the work that these immigrants are being brought in the country to do, or that these immigrants are finding work here doing. Whether they're brought here or not, they're here and they're working. Why aren't Americans doing that work?
Yeah.
It's a big problem.
I mean, why are we discouraging landscaping is the highest rate of immigrant workers, right? Why aren't we telling kids, hey man, look how much fun it is to cut grass. And you can do this for a living. You can landscape and make things look pretty in your own neighborhood.
I will say, I think Louisiana's kind of making that push, and we've been seeing that locally, kind of focusing more on trade. So I think there might be a bit of a shift there, but it might take some time.
I hope so. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some culture change, and it's got to be. We have to talk about work in a positive light. It can't just be focus on work till you work 8 hours and go home. There has to be an enjoyment in what you do, and then it doesn't feel so much work. We work hard for 7 months out of the year, and the other 4 or 5, it's pretty relaxed. We only work 8 hours, but those 7 months, that's when you make your hay. We're we have to get back to that mentality of being farmers.
Right.
And
that's one thing.
I think that with following the law will solve those problems.
A lot of people would ask me, because I've been kind of notorious for being the type of guy that I'll work a 10, 12-hour day, no problem. Don't even think about it. But that comes from working summers on a farm and realizing, okay, there's a difference between working 12-hour days where you're bucking hay bales all day versus 12 hours where I'm writing scripts for a newscast or shooting video. I mean, but I have seen it for years. There's just been a loss of personal pride in work. That when you do something and put your hand to something, your name is on it. Why would you not want that to be the best possible representation? Just so many people don't look at it like that,
Whether it's a burger at McDonald's or, you're serving a steak to somebody at Logan's. It doesn't matter what it is. Take pride in what you do, but we've lost teaching that at home. And that's where it's got to start.
Definitely.
We've got to teach our kids to take pride in what they do, regardless of what it is, cleaning your room. And when, those little things add up to pride in yourself and pride in your country. And then you're not too proud to go out and do the hard jobs.
Yep, exactly. All right, man. Thanks so much. Appreciate your call. We need to take our last break.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics,
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter with the clinics. We provide primary, family, and chronic care along with gastroenterology, podiatry, with on-site lab and x-ray services. I'm pleased to welcome family physician Dr. Noah Miller to our team. We are currently accepting new patients and same-day appointments are available. If you're admitted into the hospital, our doctors will see you there as well. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The clinic's on North Bolton, 445-9823, and online at theclinics.us.
From America's #1 travel radio show, I'm Robert Carey.
And I'm Mary Carey with today's RM World Travel Minute.
As we get ready to wrap the first full week of 2026, I talked about this a bit at the beginning of the week. This is expected to be a big year for travel.
Yeah, there's no question all the celebrations surrounding America's 250 will help boost travel this year. But a report put out by the folks at Talker Research caught our attention as it surveyed thousands of Americans nationwide who say 2026 will be a bigger year for beach getaways and road trips. Visiting friends and family also ranked high, as did adventure travel.
The #1 type of trip people are purportedly seeking most, it's a low-stress escape, which likely negates visiting family and friends. I'm just saying.
Something I found interesting in the report is the average traveler snapped about 200 photos on their travels last year. I'm curious how many of them they're still looking at.
Yeah, top items most forgotten last year: phone chargers, sunscreen, and toothbrushes. That's some combination.
Well, 2 of those 3 I forgot in 2025, and it wasn't the toothbrush.
Share your 2026 travel plans with us at rmworldtravel.com/contact.
Happy travels, everyone.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talk Back.
Man, I don't know if you saw the Fiesta Bowl last night, but before the game, that was a group called The War and Treaty singing the national anthem. And I saw so many posts about it. People just saying how it gave them chills. They should have those 2 people do it at the Super Bowl. They were phenomenal.
Sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
My favorite is lately is the Chris Stapleton one, that Super Bowl.
You like
it was
that
different, but it was good.
Yeah. I'm going to go with that one. By the way, I didn't realize this. There are replays that show on that last play of the Fiesta Bowl last night, the Hail Mary pass. The Miami defender was holding on to the Mississippi receiver all the way through the end zone, and the receiver got his hand on the ball, but couldn't bring it in. That should have been pass interference. If you're Ole Miss this morning, you got to be legit, but oh well.
Life's unfair.
That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
It was a catch.
It was a catch.
It really was.
Have a nice weekend, everyone. We'll talk with you again on Monday.